And now for more on the cattle markets, we turn to Duane Lenz with CattleFax. And first of all, Duane, as always, we appreciate you joining us here on Cattleman to Cattleman.
You bet. Yep, glad to be here.
Well, let's jump right into it. And why don't you start by giving us your perspective on the unprecedented cattle market situation that COVID-19 has created right now?
Well, Russell, it's a mess. Prices are down. They are starting to stabilize, but they're at a lot lower level than anybody wanted to. That's creating a very unprofitable situation for feed yards, which is then spilling back to cow, calf, and stocker operators. So losing a lot of money. The system is gummed up. We just can't get cattle from feed yards through the packing house right now. That's backing up a lot of cattle in feed yards, and that's spilling back to the stocker deal. So it's a tough situation. Losses are piling up, and we're just going to have to work through this deal over time.
Well, it certainly is a challenging time for America's beef cattle producers for sure, but I'm confident we will work our way through this current crisis that we're all undergoing. You know, with that said, some packing plants have been closing, others running at less than capacity. What's happening with the backlog in these market-ready fed cattle?
Well, as you mentioned, we're backing up several 100,000 in here that we would like to have killed over the last 6 weeks. So they're staying in the feed yards right now. We do have some folks trying to change the rations back to more of a holding pattern. Beta agonists are being taken out of the cattle in several cases, but we're just kind of waiting for this packing house situation to clean up so we can move the cattle start moving them more into the packing houses. That's also creating a background problem coming off background grass, California grass, winter grazing areas, because we can't move those grass-ready cattle that have been on these programs into feed yards until we start opening up some space in the pens. So it's kind of a twofold deal. We can't get them out to packers, and we can't get the grass cattle into feed yards at this point.
Just a crazy time for sure. You know, at the same time, calving is well underway in a lot of parts of the country, as is spring planting, but beef demand remains relatively strong. So if we can weather through this current COVID-19 storm, are there some signs that we can maybe begin to dig ourselves out of these holes?
I think so. And again, it's going to take a while, but we expect starting this week that we're going to start seeing more cattle move through packing houses, which is going to be the start. These markets seem to have stabilized through all the segments right now. So maybe we're cheap enough here for a little bit. If we can start removing this backlog, getting the system moving again, maybe some of these segments can start to see more optimism as far as prices, and maybe we can start working on some of the losses that we've been accruing here over the last 6 weeks.
Absolutely. And Duane, as we start to wind down here, any words of advice or caution or even encouragement as cattlemen and cattlewomen look ahead, both short and long term?
Yeah, I think the advice we're telling folks, of course, here at CattleFax is, number one, if you're in a feed yard, you just got to get a bid, you got to get the cattle moved. It's not the price is secondary, but the main thing is moving them through the system. So we're going to start doing that moving forward. With the stocker operators coming off of some of these grass programs from the winter, they're just sorting off the big ones, trying to get those placed, and then warehousing the lighter ones out on grass for a while. Cow-calf producers, there's not much folks can do right now. I would tell them, hey, sit tight, to get offered contracts for fall, unless it's a really good contract that you can make some money on. Go on, do something different. And let's worry about this fall market when we get through into the summer and see where we are. So I think the other thing that, this is the industry that goes through peaks and valleys. And Russell, right now we're in a valley, and it's a pretty deep valley, and it's not good and it's not fun, but we've always come out the other side. There's going to be opportunities created by this. When we get this straightened out, these markets are going to come back, profitability will return, and I say that's going to open up opportunities going through the other side. So for now, I think we got to go and go about our business the best we can and let this thing work out, but it will get better. That's the nature of this industry. It will get better again.
Absolutely, and some very encouraging words for sure. Hey, while we have you on the program today, if you wouldn't mind, I was checking your website out and saw that you're going to have a CattleFax Trends and webinar coming up on May 20th. A great opportunity, I would assume, for cattle producers to jump on the computer and have some of these questions and maybe others that we haven't asked and answered on the program done so.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And it's free. All you got to do is get on there and get after it. So, it's a good way to keep updated on what's going on in the industry. So we encourage everybody to jump on if they can.
Well, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us right here on Cattleman to Cattleman.
Thank you, Rosa. I appreciate it. Good luck.
Now, the CattleFax Trends and Cow-Calf webinar that Duane mentioned is set for Monday, May 20th at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time. To find out more and for the latest cattle market outlook, you can always visit their website at cattlefax.com.